A senior U.S. diplomat is in Seoul as the two allies look to coordinate their response to North Korea's fourth nuclear test. The provocation has severely raised tension in the region, but South Korea and the U.S. know they'll need China's cooperation to ensure Pyongyang is punished in any meaningful way. Our Connie Kim brings us this report.
South Korea and the United States are still working on ways to persuade China that it's time North Korea be hit with the toughest sanctions yet in the wake of its recent nuclear test. U.S. Deputy Secretary of State Tony Blinken is in Seoul on a two-day visit for talks with South Korea's Foreign Minister Yun Byung and Vice Foreign Minister Lim Sung.
South Korea and the U.S. will focus on ways to cooperate in response to North Korea's nuclear test, including a UN Security Council resolution.
Following his talks in Seoul, Blinken will travel to Beijing on Wednesday for talks with Chinese Vice Foreign Minister Chang Ye-sui. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry will also visit China next week to pressure Beijing to join the other members of the six-party nuclear talks in punishing Pyongyang for its latest provocation. China has emphasized the need for an appropriate level of UN measures, while South Korea, the U.S. and Japan are pushing for stronger and comprehensive sanctions. The meetings come on the heels of a series of talks between the six-party members, as well as a meeting between South Korea's top nuclear envoy Hwang Jung-guk and his Russian counterpart Igor Morgulov in Moscow on Tuesday. Russia has been calling for all interested parties to refrain from taking actions that could raise tensions in Northeast Asia. South Korea will continue its efforts to bring out a strong and effective UN Security Council resolution on North Korea, as it's set to hold a series of meetings with members of the UN Security Council in New York through Wednesday. Connie Kim, Arirang News.